gosh, I'm so you girl. I sent a WhatsApp. I sent an email, right? Like my first email, right? And then just gave over the punchline. So then I was like, oh, I know how to do this. I'm gonna send her another one. So I sent her another one. And then I said, why don't you send me an email? I sent it to her by accident.
She said, why am I doing it?
I sent it to her by accident. What? I don't, whatever. It's a whole lot.
She has my, remember when I read that letter, she sent me the first letter so that I could read it. But,
Oh, so you for the following one. How do you do this?
did you ever get this letter?
Yeah, I did. How do I do this? Just as an introduction to starting it, the whole point of there's a few points about learning Perek Shira. One is that we learn.
Quiet, please.
One of the reasons that we're learning Perek Shira is to appreciate how much Hashem does for us. And when somebody does something for you, what happens? You love them, and you feel their love, right? Like it's just like like
Grateful.
you're grateful, and you have a connection. If you're not feeling well, then somebody
Makes you tea.
yeah, I wanted to say I didn't want it to be recorded, but
Well, you can stop recording.
yeah, whatever. Anyways,
You can stop recording.
yeah, I know. I hate when they do that though.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about when I'm whatever. And when I'm doing and whatever. It's just that I think people should call Judy and tell her, or if you don't call her, send her WhatsApp. Missed you today. It's not the same without you. Whatever. It means a lot.
Yeah.
It means a lot. It's very easy nowadays with WhatsApp. You don't have time. You're embarrassed. You don't know what to say. And if you think, oh no, she doesn't mean me. I mean you. I mean every single one person is here. Missed you today. It's not the same without you.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So like there's three reasons why we're learning Perek Shira. One is to see how much Hashem does for us specifically. It goes out of his way to make our lives more pleasant. What? Put it back on. Yeah, I think so. And the other reason is to learn specifically. Sometimes we learn a very specific way of serving Hashem. And the other reason is to get motivated to say Perek Shira. Okay, so I get very excited that when somebody starts saying, oh, I started saying Perek Shira. Because then they're understanding how important it is to say Perek Shira. So, oh yeah. What should I tell it? I'll just tell it quickly. She was saying Perek Shira, so I decided Perek Shira, and it was muksa, and it was in her purse, and her husband got it in her purse without moving it. I told my husband this whole story because I want, whatever. Anyways, the bottom line is, where were you sitting?
I was sitting outside on the bench under a tree. Just sitting outside.
Okay, you said it's much better with your accent. And what happened?
I got caught. The first time I was saying it in life ever, I got caught the bird. I could hear birds and whatever. And I just looked up, there was a whole flock of parrots above my head. Saw my hair around, I was like waiting for them to land by me. They were above my head, and I was like, wow.
Just as you're reading it.
As I got to that part. And this week, I've been doing like a chapter a day, and then on Shavuot I finished it, completed it, and I started again.
Okay.
And with Shavuot I went and I said outside and I completed it again, and like I was hearing this like, there's something else. Literally, so one parrot on top of a tree.
It's really intense. So you become in tune with the creatures of Hashem. You become in tune with whatever. Yeah. You guys know
And
that
then
there
Hashem
is.
gives you a gift.
Yeah.
And also I wanted to see a blue parrot, like different green that you feel. I didn't see a blue parrot, but on Sunday, yesterday, I saw a bird, beautiful bird, like blue wing.
Yeah. Today I saw two of them. coming up here. I saw two of them. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's for blue period. Like,
Oh,
okay.
right.
And
the story of
Mashiach.
Yeah.
Don't waste it on birds.
Somebody, Ruthie Zimber, she told the story of it's the most incredible Perek Shira story in the world. She said, this happened with her son and daughter-in-law. So her daughter-in-law, so the son came in to the bedroom and there was just some sort of thing on the bed that was alive. And he's like, okay, I'll kill it. She's like, no, wait, let's see what it says in Perek Shira. And they opened up the Perek Shira, and I think it was something to do with life. And at that time, their daughter was pregnant, and they were told to abort the baby because there was something wrong, and obviously halachically it must have been a danger to the mother or something. And she said, no. And she showed it to a child. I've told this story many times. No. And she said, and the baby does have learning disabilities. The baby now is 9, 11, something like that. Goes to regular school. The baby does have there is something wrong with the baby, but not. She said, no, this is
Not your fault.
because she's instead of just saying let's just kill this thing, she just I can't remember what I really have to get the story for her. She showed and she showed us a picture of the girl when she came here. She showed us a picture of the daughter. You can see there she has some learning disability or something, but she's alive and giving her family lots of joy and nonsense. Yeah, so she took a lesson from Perek Shira. Okay, we're on the desert, which is very, very Israeli, right? Where we have a lot of desert in Israel. What?
You just said Shavuot.
Yeah, right. Okay, so the pasuk is, guys want to look. I always say, Hebrew is if you look at it, sometimes you think, oh, I don't know the word, but if you look at it, you do know the word. Okay, so this is from Isaiah. Yisasu midbar v'tziyah v'segel arava v'tifra kechavatzelet. Okay, the wilderness of the wasteland will rejoice over them. The desert will be glad and blossom like a lily. Chavatzelet is a flower. Sometimes it's translated as a type of a rose, but it's a flower. Okay, chavatzelet. Now, like I said, you say, I don't know these words. Yeah, you do. Yisasum is what word? Sason v'simcha, right? We've heard these words. Sason, simcha. There's a man's name, I think, is Sason, right? Now, there's 3 words for midbar. There's midbar, siyah, and arava. Okay? And then there's all these words. I asked my husband to tell me on the show. I asked my husband, what's the difference between Sason, Simcha, Gila? And he just went way over my head. I was like,
all different types of joy.
yeah, we'll go into a little bit, but there's much written about, because that's Hebrew. Hebrew is, there's a word for how to wash, how to put on your shoes. We just say put on your shoes. It's like linol. Yeah. I mean, Hebrew.
There's a verb to put on.
Yeah. Linol, shoot. Yeah. Tongues. Anyway, so this is the part of Yeshai that comes from. It's Hashem's promise. That Yoshua the Navi tells about the days of Mashiach. So it's always nice to hear about that, right? That just as the desert seems lifeless, when Mashiach comes, the Jewish people will rejuvenate like a desert coming to life.
We've done that.
Yeah, 100%, which because it's happened already, it makes us feel like, oh, it's not so far fetched. I think there were people generations back that were like, come on, Israel, are you joking? Who's going to go to Israel? It's a swamp. It's this, that. Okay. So the Malbim explains that the 3 different words for desert. A midbar, I mean, I could translate it wilderness, desert, arid region, but I don't think that really counts us. I think we should stay with the Hebrew. A midbar intrinsically cannot support plant life. Doesn't have minerals. You can't plant in a midbar. okay? A tzia, it can't support plant life because of the blazing sun. It's just too hot. So now we know that they have greenhouses, they can do something. That's a tzia, okay? And an arava has potential, but it's full of thorns and weeds. Always, right away you can think of the imageries of like things of just like, oh, we could all have all these different things in our lives, and we just want to pick out the thorns and the weeds so that we can get to it and start planting. But don't give it up because it's an arava. Because what does it say? It says that the wilderness and the wasteland will rejoice over them. The desert will be glad and blossom like the lily, but the word that it uses is the arava. The arava is really what's going to blossom. So these talk about the different nations that will be able, they will not be able to fully enjoy the joy, experience the joy of Mashiach. Okay, but we will. Well, they'll have some sort of sason. So sason, the Vilna Gaon has a very interesting way of explaining what simcha is like the joy during our struggle. When you have a struggle, and this book that I was reading says, like when you're on the court, you're on the basketball court, and you're working really hard, but you're winning, right? And also like even when you're learning and you're like getting and you're going through it, and what does that word learn? And you're trying to figure out a pasuk and chumash, that joy, of getting to it. Go, oh, I get it. That's simple. Sason is afterwards, sitting on the bench, going, we won, we got it, we won, we have the trophy in our hands. That's the after part, Gila is from the word Gilui, right? It's Gilui. It's revealed. It's all, it's there. It's just, there's different aspects of it. Let's say, sometimes I think that, okay, so to cry or whatever, that when somebody gets engaged, sometimes it's more exciting than the actual wedding. The engagement is like, oh, found somebody, or found somebody. It's just like, there's something, then it's like that in the wedding, and then at the Shever box, I just want to see her, or again, whoever I'm close to after that, mostly her. She's probably got her hair covered and she looks different, I just want to see her. I don't even have to stay there and eat dinner or anything. I just want to see her, Actually going to a wedding tonight, but it's gonna be a very emotional wedding because the Chatan's father was nifter a few months ago, and my husband was his best friend. So it's really gonna be lots of emotions going on over there. Yeah.
Can I tell a quick little story about desert? So in the Rova, I have friends whose daughter married a third-generation farmer from India that lived in Gaza before we were thrown out of our. It was 3 generations: the grandfather, the father, and the boy that she married. And then when we were thrown out of Gaza, they had an Arab family who worked for them for over 40 or 50 years. Also, 3 generations of an Arab family in Gaza. They had they had vegetables and flowers that they grew in hothouses that they exported. And they didn't want to destroy it. And the grandfather gave it to the Arab family that worked for them for all those years and said, you take care of it with my blessings, like you take care of it. A year or so later, the Jewish grandfather, gets a call from the Arab grandfather, and he said, there really must be a Jewish God. He said, I've worked for you for however many years, my son, my grandson. He said, no matter what we did, nothing was everything. So help me God. Everything died. Everything died. He said, there must be a Jewish God. God said he will make the desert bloom for us.
Eretz Israel is like the Arava, a place that's intrinsically fitting for divine light, only that it grows thorns and weeds, right? The bad deeds that contain impurity, but it will experience a renewed gila, inner joy, and will blossom like a rose. So we have, we do, it has the potential. It does, Eretz Yisrael has the potential, exactly what you're saying. So these deserts are spiritual wastelands that at the time of Shift will be limited. But Eretz Yisrael is a temporary wasteland that has spiritual receptors that are just waiting to be rejuvenated, right? So basically the song of the Midbar is a song of hope. It's a song of hope. It's just like, like we all need that, especially at a time like this, right? What will happen when Mashiach comes and Eretz Yisrael once again will bloom spiritually and physically? Bituach Hashem in our days, right? Anyone who knows anything about Breslev knows that Breslev is very into his produce, right? And the main purpose is that a person should populate the world with Yeshuva Das. Heard the expression Yeshuva Das? Yeshuva Das is like peace of mind. But a Yeshuv, what's a Yeshuv? Yeah. It's also, yeah, sorry? What'd you say? Well, Yeshuv, like Meron is a Yeshuv. Varshama is a Yeshuv. I don't know if it's not called Yeshuv, because usually it's a smaller. But Yeshuv. So we all want Yeshuv Das. Just want Yeshuv Das. So basically meaning tranquility in your brain.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. What's another expression? The expression peace of mind in Sharbi Tahom. Okay. We all want Yeshuva Das. What? Yeah. We all want you. That's what everybody wants. It's like whatever you want in life. It's like, no, I want parnasa. No, I want a shidduch. No, I want healthy children. All that becomes under the umbrella of Yeshuva Das, tranquility. Mind. Why do you want parnasa? Not because you want to go be able to buy 5 cars. No. You want whatever. This is what you need. So basically what it's saying is that your person's mind should not be hefker like a desert. Right? A desert where you're all over the place. What?
Free to anybody who wants to be there.
Right. And not fertile. Like you're just all over the place and you're not getting anything done. There's not like empty wasteland, all that stuff, right? So we know the famous thing where it says Asuli Mikdash Vishpanti B'Tov, right? That Hashem says, make me a Mikdash and I will dwell in them. Right? So he wants to dwell. Hashem wants to dwell anywhere in us. So this is what we want to do. We want to make ourselves fitting in mind and heart so that to bring Hashem into our lives. We don't want to be just a midbar that's hefker. We want to have a place that's fertile. And basically that means, learning Torah, doing mitzvahs, doing chesed, and davening, obviously, right? That's the planting and stuff like that. But then we also said we can't have the weeds and the thorns. These things, whatever, fill in the blank. My new thing now is about junk food and exercise. I never thought I would be a person who talk like that. But I see, like, when you don't eat well and you don't exercise, it's harder to serve Hashem. If you're not going to feel good, and you can be like, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to the Canary, or whatever it is that you like to do, that's good for you. You're just not going to be able to serve Hashem. So you want to make yourself, you want to learn the lesson of the desert. Now, many times in Perek Shira, you get this and then you get this. You get like we had Gan Eden and then we had Gehenna. Okay, so here we had the midbar. So after the midbar is fields. Okay. Here's the midbar. Here's the fields. Look, I'm telling you, he's got a great. That's why I bring this. Here's another picture. This is kind of neat because it has the midbar and the fields on the same page, so you can see. You can see the differences, Yeah.
Right. It's sweet. It's so good.
Right. Fields. There's a lot in the Torah about fields. Yaakov goes through the daven in fields. Shira, everybody's like into the sadeh, Elul, what do we say in Elul? No, it was Sadeh. Who doesn't love that? Just wait for Elul to happen,
Was it in the fields of Mamre? Isn't that where Abraham bought Mamre?
Yeah.
It talks about the fields.
Yeah. The Elul Mamre, right. Okay, so what does the field say? This is a pasuk from Mishlei. Hashem b'chakma yisad aretz, onen shemayim b'sfuna. Hashem founded the earth with wisdom. He established the heavens with understanding. Okay, so the field is the opposite of the desert. It's fertile and allows things to grow. Right? Again, what are you going to plant in your field? No, I'm right. Sorry?
I said it's the desert garden.
Well, we talked about that. We said if you have a desert, you could make it grow if you get rid of it. It depends which kind of a desert. There's deserts that nothing can grow, and then there's a desert that's hard to grow because it has thorns. I mean, what they've done in Israel, even if you go by Tiberi and sell the bananas and then big blue bags. Right, and that's. I think we're like one of the.
Everything. Pineapples now.
Yeah.
Down by Naza.
Yeah.
In hothouses down on the outside.
Yeah. Cherries just so expensive. When I say used to like
blueberries now,
just for 30 shekels. Now it's like cherries and whatever. We're really learning how to grow. No, but what I mean is like, so we're saying a field you can grow easily, but it depends what you're going to grow in your field. You can grow, get married, have children and raise children and grow them in positive ways and give them compliments and encourage them. Or you could be condescending and critical and destroy them. Right. And a lot of people now, I think, are talking about when they think about these things, they're not thinking about really them and their children, they're talking about them as a child and what maybe they got a little bit too much criticism or probably got too much criticism, and now we're learning about these things, so we're like thinking, okay, I'm not going to blame my parents because I got a lot of criticism, but I'm going to build myself up, and maybe I'm not so incapable like I was made to feel. Maybe I have talents. Maybe they just didn't hear all this stuff because now it's in nobody, whatever. Okay. So the Vilna Gaon talks about how the first part of the pasuk is in the past tense, and the second part of the pasuk is in the present tense. So it said Yesad Aretz, right, which means established the land. The Konen Shemai means the Konen, that vav in there, for you Hebrew wanting to learn people. When you got the vav, it makes it present, right? Like diber, whatever. Okay, so ochel or hal, right, makes it into present. So we know that this is a very big thing. Is that Hashem is constantly creating everything. He didn't want this table to exist. It wouldn't. It's only existing because of Hashem's will. Okay, so Hashem founded the earth with wisdom. There are certain laws that we don't change. There's certain things that don't change. It's just the way Hashem made it. We don't change it, right? And even the Chachamim, since Hanukkah and Purim, have not changed things. Now, of course, they didn't have elevators, so they couldn't paskin about using a Shabbos elevator. But now they have to use things to make. So there, but in the Dashmik Hashem, certain things are just not new. It's founded and it's strong, and it gives us the feeling of security, right? And that's why the Reform movement did not last. It did not. I mean, I don't know what's going on with it now. I don't think it's coming, it's going, whatever.
I think it's the biggest one in America.
Is it? It's doing well? It's
I don't know if
right.
it's doing well, but I think it's the largest
Right.
branch.
Okay.
And I can't call it Judaism.
Huh?
I can't call it Judaism.
Right. No, basically, it's talking about that Hashem founded the word with wisdom. That wisdom, what's wisdom, is the Torah. We know that Hashem looked into the Torah for the blueprint of creation. And then there's the Meiri says, when it says Hashem b'chachma, Hashem with wisdom created. So all these all these little things, prefixes, they have different meanings. So you could read it, Hashem with wisdom created the world. Okay, and meaning what's the wisdom? That's how we translate it, right? We said with Hashem, but you could also say Chachma means bishvil Chachma. For what's Chachma, the Torah? Because of the Torah, Hashem created the world, right? If no one was going to be learning, there would be absolutely no
So there would be no point.
Right. Right. The whole reason why Hashem created the world was for the Jewish people and Eretz Israel and the Torah, which is all called one. Okay. We know it says there's nothing new under the sun, right? The mitzvah of the Torah that no prophet is given permission to add anything new to it, right? So that's why it says founded in past tense. But the heavens, which are in constant state of renewal, are established with understanding as man constantly contemplates them and coming to wisdom. If there's a pot of soup on the fire, you don't know that it's hot. I can tell you it's hot. You'll believe me. But a 4-year-old, what?
Probably will.
Okay, but a 4-year-old, okay, let's say the fire's not on.
You just shut it
I
off.
turned it off, and you say to a kid, don't touch it. Now, many kids will do what?
Touch it.
Touch it. Why? Because they don't know. So Bina, understanding, is knowing, is figuring something out. Devar b'tok devar, figuring something out. Yes, I understand that this was on fire. Like how many times do I tell my kid, I take something out of the oven, sometimes I take something off the flat of the challenge, I put it directly on the table. And I'll say to them, you guys, it's really hot. It's very, I'm talking about, I don't have little kids. It's really, really hot. They take it, they go, oh, whoa. Because that's das. Das is knowing, it's the connection. When you put it in your mouth, you know it's hot. But it's understanding, whatever, some things, sometimes you take something off the plate, it's not so hot. But sometimes, especially if you're not fat stuff, it's like really, really hot, like with the grandkids, like me or somebody, I said, let's put the food on their plate and then call them to the table. But it's just, they're going to just start eating it. They're not going to, even if you tell them it's really hot. Sorry, let's sort food, whatever. But sometimes they don't, they just put it in their mouth, whatever. So sometimes they're really kids, little, you're not going to put it in front of them because they're not going to believe you, whatever. So this is what Tnuba is this thing is to deduce the future outcome of something based on the present. So this is the idea of that Hashem established the heavens with understanding. So the song of the fields is that all of creation follows the blueprint of the Torah, whose laws are eternally relevant. Now, when we were leaving Mitzrayim, all of the plagues, all of nature said, "No, we're not going to do what we're supposed to do." Hashem changed the nature of blood, the Nile turned to blood, right? And fire and water went together. Everything changed. And the last Shira, Perek Shira, is what?
Right. The dog.
The dog is the dog.
Good learn.
And why? What's so special about the dog? Well, there's a few things, but one thing is what? They didn't bark, which means they did what? They went against their nature. Just like they were like, hey, I want to do that too. I saw those 10 plagues. I'm going to do that too. Like, I'm getting on the Hashem bandwagon for Israel. This is cool.
And that's a big thing.
The dog not barking?
Yeah.
Sure. There's even comedies where, like a robber goes to a house at night and there's a dog there like, nice pooch, nice pooch. Okay. And then all of a sudden they go, what? Like, dog barks, that's the dog's supposed to do, right? Watchdog, So the field is a metaphor for man. If untapped, wisdom remains wasted potential. What are we going to do with our field? Right? It's just like we have a field, we have our whole, I was going to say life, but I don't, we have our brains, we also have our situations. Everybody has their situations, which is perfect for them, right? You know, the word gezerah means a decree. It comes from the same word as, if anyone here anyone here sew? Neither do I. So when people sew, they get like a pattern, right? They follow the pattern. The pattern is called the gezerah. Some of the same word, a pattern. Yeah. So when, so why would I put on pants? I don't wear pants. Why would I put on a shirt that's way too big on me? That's silly. It's going to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to be able to eat. I'm not going to be able to use it's like ridiculous. Actually, I have this thing, I can't stand it. I'll get up and go over to one of my grandchildren, even though the parents are right there, if they're eating and their sleeves are too long. I go ballistic. I'm always like, the poor kid can't eat. They're eating their clothes instead. It's like, whatever. So it's like, everything is exactly what we're supposed to be having. So we all have our field, which means the people in our lives. It means our talents. It means the things that we're not. I always make a joke that I will never be a basketball player. I'm okay with that. I've been through it, whatever.
You've accepted that.
Except I have to tell you, my sister, growing up, my sister always loved ballet. And she hurt herself many times. She did not have a body for a ballerina. And it was very hard for her. She wanted to be a ballerina. And she just, her ankles were, whatever it was. Maybe she could have, but she didn't. I don't know, whatever. But it was hard for her. It was hard for her. But what we're supposed to do is take the talents that Hashem gives us. In fact, I think it's a Bob Jerby that says that if you have a talent and you don't use it for Hashem, it's called tashkas.
What is
It's you're wasting.
Yeah.
You're wasting.
You're
You're
what
wasting.
Hashem made you.
Let's say you're a good singer. You're a good singer. You have a beautiful voice. You have to use it. You have to use it. You have to make it, if you know how to make people happy, make people happy. You know how to bake, you have to bake, whatever it is.
Right.
You have a lot of money, you got to give the money. Sorry? Yeah. Yeah. You have to. And for two reasons. One for Amazon, one for yourself. If you don't use it for yourself, you're going to feel locked. You're going to feel like you never, it's hard for you. Whatever, you can't, understanding is a mental exertion that processes the raw facts and draws from them new bodies of knowledge. It's taking something and using it. You have a clump of clay. What are you going to do with it? Right? Our mission is to nurture the God-given spark of wisdom and to make of it a crop that will gladden the heavens. We're doing all this stuff to make the world a better place and to figure out what our talents are. And taking like, I always like the Rebbe Heller, Gottlieb, talks about the difference between men and women. Men are givers, women are receivers, right? Even in the sexual way, right? The man gets a sperm and the woman receives it. And what does she do? She builds. And not that's one way, it's a very physical way. But in every way, I say the man comes home, generally speaking, with the money, and then the woman takes the money and makes a home, right? Let's say he brings home the flowers, she makes the bread. Whatever it is, it's just like we're supposed to receive and build. Receive and build. And whether we have a husband who does that or not, because things now are definitely not as clear as it used to be at a certain time. But we do know that the women really, really are the builders of what's going on. Actually, I was one time in a share at Rebbe Heller, and she gave like this long share, and she always says at the end, time for questions and snap. And then some young chickapoo said, so what's your advice about Shalom bias? And I was like, What Representative Heller to answer that on 1 foot? Well, Representative Heller answered it on 1 foot. And it's something that's helping very much. And if you don't want to use a shown bias, you can use it for any relationship you're in. Just make sure when you say something or do something, you're building and not destroying.
Wow. Wow.
And that could even be like, let's say you ask for something from somebody and they don't give you what you wanted. Are you building or destroying? I didn't say anything. Or whatever it is. It's like, did I ask you for water? What can I tell you? Like we're all trying and we're all doing this. I'm very lucky that for Hashem, in my house, I use humor a lot. Okay, yesterday was my son's birthday, and my oldest, and he's a very happy kind of kid. He's just like his that's his disposition. He happens to be a happy kid. Playing hard. Well, this you know what? Because what's going on? What happened on Chelsea? You don't want to celebrate his birthday. It was his birthday. I was really kind of freaked out by that. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's not like that. It's so not like that. Well, I don't mean so it's not my birthday. And then his wife called me like at 2 o'clock and said, okay, but Sophie wants to tell her he's ready for birthday. I'm like, okay, so what should I do? Let's make a long story short. It's like, okay, we're just gonna order pizza, we're gonna buy ice cream, we're gonna make a salad. This kid went to go buy his watch. So we got the pizza, the ice cream, the present, what else do you need? The birthday, right? I got sparkles and so why am I telling you all this? So last night, I didn't even go into the room where my husband was because I was afraid I was gonna start laughing. Because I am not that good at practice, So I just said from the other room, I said, Clark, thank you so much for everything you did for the party.
He did nothing.
And he said, afterwards, he said, oh, and anyways, Clark, what about a present for him? He goes, yeah, a present. Right. Did you give him a present? Don't you should And then we went into this whole thing of, well, I showed up. You did. You showed up. You ate the pizza. It was so nice. Come and eat the pizza with everybody. So what am I trying to say? It's like, what?
He helped you clean up.
Did he help clean up? I think because I think in the middle he went to take a nap. Yeah. Yeah. But I wanted the appreciation that Baruch Hashem, me and my daughter got it together at the last minute. And it was really.
Are we surprised?
What?
Are we surprised?
No, I'm not. This is the Beit Knesset thing. This is the whole Beit Knesset thing. Yeah. And I'll just tell you something else. Just tell you something else. Anyone have daughter-in-laws? It's a very specific relationship. Anyway, so just before she left, I'll tell you this, 2 confessions. This is from therapy. Okay. If you've been to a good therapist, so she'll say to you, I'll say like, oh, I was going to the store and my granddaughter, she was so cute, she gave the flowers. She'll say, can we just stop for a second? Can we enjoy this moment? Can we enjoy the moment that you were there and your granddaughter said, just enjoy this moment. How did you feel? Did you relax? How did you smell? Okay, so I got this. This is what people do in therapy. We don't just concentrate on that. Okay. So when my daughter-in-law was leaving, I was like, and I turned to her, no, Maury. I said, thank you. I said, how are we going to do this? If we were going to do this, he didn't want to do this. And you and I just did it. We did it together. And you should have seen her. She was shining. Well, like, especially from the sugar. I was like, I always make a joke that she says thank you, even though I don't even give her a compliment. I'll say, the sky is blue today. Thank you.
You didn't have anything.
But she just compliments. Like, yeah, okay. Whatever it is, she's always saying thank you. I just say, okay, she knows. So anyway, so whatever we can do to build, make the feel that we are given, to feel that we are given to, this is really an incredible thing. A lot of people, she talks about in Shar B'Tachon that everybody has different it's you. Your life is set up in different ways. There's certain people who are married. There's certain people who are married with children. There's certain people who are married with children and have extended family around, right? There's certain people who are alone. There's certain people who are alone, they're divorced, but they have children, whatever, everybody has. What? Right, so listen to this. Somebody told me about her Seder. Her Seder, she's divorced. She has many children and grandchildren. Her Seder, she spent with one son who's not religious. And she prayed. And she said it was an amazing Seder. That's what I'm telling you this. I'm not telling you this because it's a Nebuch story. They had such, and she said she decided it's going to be all about Hashem. They went to the Haggadah, they drank the fucking wine, they ate the matzahs. He went out afterwards. She said Shira. She said, what are you going to do with your field? What are you going to do with your field? She could have been fine and you say, yeah, of course she was fine. This is what her Seder was. Oh, no, she had a wonderful Seder. That's godless. That's like taking your field, saying this is my field, and this is what I'm going to do with it. And that's why all those stories about Rav Rabashkin and what he did in a place called prison, just like he's like they were making it was so cute. I would say, I had a lot of time, it's like, well, what? No, just tell. Just to, and use that time to learn a lot and to carve people and whatever he said, yeah, and he would say that he said he was so busy it was like a joke. His wife also would say like he took on all these different things he was learning, or Chaim HaKodesh, Al Sheta Kodesh, Ari, like all these different things he was learning and filming that like he was so busy, whatever. Yeah, depends what we're going to do with it. What are we going to do with it? I'm telling you, I love these pictures. Next one is water. I am. That's also a pretty picture. Can I see it? Can you show me one? This book is also in big. Oh, you also have a book.
Yeah.
What was it? Sorry? Wow. It's Italian, you need it?
I wish I could speak it now.
That's probably Spanish.
Doba, if you don't water the desert, if you don't cultivate it, it becomes a desert.
Yeah, there you go.
The blend becomes the field becomes a desert.
There are 6 shearing for water. There's 6 songs of water. Yeah, I'll tell you. There's this water, seas, rivers, streams, rain, dew. What does that do for us? Well, we're going to do them, but water, seas, rivers, streams, rain, dew. Now, this should not surprise you because at the end of the day, we all need water. I mean, like we all need water. Yeah, let's have some water. There's people who do fasting. But there's people who do fasting.
Yeah,
they drink water and they do fine. They do fine. What? You drink water and you're doing fine.
Just water is Torah.
What?
Torah is water. Torah is water.
Thank you. Water is what?
Torah.
Yeah, Mayim Chaim. Mayim Chaim. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you. Thank you. Chaim.
Okay.
I actually heard that one representative, Weinberg from Shara. I think she said if there's 2 things you should say never say no to. One is a glass of water and one is a chair. She said that the chair thing is great. Why? Because you ever spend like 10 minutes going like this? I can't stay. I gotta go. I really don't have time. I really, and then and after 10 minutes, you realize you've been sitting there.
Yeah.
Right? It's true. Right? Or even somebody, sometimes you could even say, somebody could be at your door and say, you know what? If you sit down, I'm not gonna glue you to the chair. You can get up anytime you want. Just sit down. You know what? You can take your coat in the winter. And even if it's 5 minutes, but be here. If you're standing by the door there, you just figure it's there.
Right.
20 minutes.
Right. Right. I might look at my watch and I'm like, actually, I go into a store and I'm standing like, just looking inside the store. Look at your watch. Maybe you could be there and you could, whatever. I don't get into that. Water. Connection to do water. I don't know. Oh, so anyway, so there's different, so we know that so this is making us, when we think about water, seas, rivers, streams, rain, dew, we're showing again how to fine tune in the world. It's not just water. We don't just say water. No, we have nature. We have oceans. We have water parks, to find out loud. We have we water our plants. We have like there's so many things. Water. I mean, one of my dreams. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So one of my dreams, and I don't know who wants to do this with me after I wouldn't do it in the summer, is to go to Eilat and swim with the dolphins. I'm like, what? I'm going to dolphins in Eilat. I mean, now that we all have to see us bathing suits, what? You did it in Eilat?
Let's do a women's trip to Eilat.
I just feel like, there's Shimshon Hirsch, when he went to the Alps, he was asked, like, how can you go to the Alps? Isn't it Bittul Torah? He said, I'm afraid that after 20 years, I'm going to go up to, Hashem's going to say to me, wait, you go see my Alps? Well, he lived over there, so, I know. Yeah, they were the dolphin, but they have an animal coaster. Actually, this has a picture of the dolphin, so I don't know. It doesn't say dolphin, it says right. But so whatever. I'll just. I don't think we have time to go into it, but I'll tell you the question that water says is. By the way, sorry? In Israel? What, you mean in the world? Oh, yeah, but I'm not going anywhere. We met her. Thank you very much. Yeah, actually, the truth of the matter is, a person's having a wedding tonight. She showed me pictures of her, I think in Hawaii, where you go to this place and you're like floating basically with snorkels, and underneath you are these humongous swordfish. When I say humongous, they're humongous. Whatever. So yeah, so it's like yeah.
You can go snorkeling in Eilat and see.
Yeah, I
see another world.
That I did. I did do that.
Another world.
Yeah, fish are like this big and they're orange and pink.
All right, girls, let's do
I know, yeah.
winter trip.
Yeah.
Women
For sure.
to go to Eilat.
So the pasuk is from Yirmiyahu, the Kotito Amon Mayim B'Shemayim Gal Zim Say Arv. At the sound of his placement of a multitude of water in the heavens, he raised clouds from the end of the earth. Now, I have to tell you something. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, remember those diagrams you got where you had all these arrows. There was the water, and the arrow went to the clouds, and the clouds had arrows down to the water. I had no idea what they wanted to do. I didn't get it at all. When I was a kid, what's the connection with water and the clouds and the arrows? And it's just like that. And you should know it's one of the first Rashis. Rashi talks about it, the Adim and stuff like that. It's one of the first Rashis. Look it up, you'll feel names. Because that was like, oh, that's what they meant. But in school they were doing all that. I remember the textbook, and I would pit my stomach going, what are you reading? Okay, so whatever, we'll stop here, but it's just basically that water
He
supports all
raises
life.
clouds from the end of the earth.
Sorry?
He raises clouds from the end of the earth. That's what you're.
Yeah.
He raises what?
The clouds, the water cycle. It's talking about the water cycle.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. It talks about that there's the rising sea vapors, and then the winds carry the clouds, and then the lightning, this is really cool, the lightning turns, first Hashem takes the water, which is salty, right? And makes it into rainwater, and the lightning turns inert nitrogen into the air into healthy nitrates that fertilize the earth with the rainwater. I mean,
Yeah. But think about, just like, Eretz Israel.
there's different kinds of rains.
Yeah, Eretz Israel is the size of New Jersey. I mean, as an American, but we're the size of New Jersey. And we have